remember the Atari 2600? Yeah, I honestly think the Atari 2600 is still the greatest home video game console of all time. I mean, I know if you look at those games today, the graphics are really shitty, I know, and they look like they were created in like an introductory computer class at a senior home. But back in the 70s and 80s, we had imaginations. I could spend hours hitting a dot back and forth between two rectangles, and I loved it. I grew up in Indiana, and I was the only Asian kid in the neighborhood, so what else was I going to do? Hang out with white people? No! I stayed home, I played Pong, and I had a great, great time. You fast forward to today, and what do you got? You got Sega, you got PlayStation, you got Xbox, but they cannot compare. And I understand that the graphics are astoundingly sophisticated nowadays. But for me, the controllers are astoundingly complicated. I mean, you remember the Atari 2600 controller, right? Here it is. Right? It was one joystick and one button. And that's all you needed to do everything. You could operate tanks, you could shoot space aliens, you could navigate a frog through traffic. But the controllers today, they have dozens of buttons and triggers, and they're different shapes and sizes and colors, and I can't figure this shit out. I got things on my mind. I'm thinking about war, famine, Channing Tatum. I can't process through how to work one of these things. And then a few years back, when the Nintendo Wii came out, I thought we were heading in the right direction, because with the Wii, the controller is this like baton that you hold in your hand, and that's all you needed. You could play tennis, and you could bowl, and you could do anything that you wanted with this controller in your hand. But by this time, I was so disillusioned with home gaming systems that I just let the Wii pass me by. But then in 2010, I heard about the Kinect. Yeah. K-I-N-E-C-T, the Kinect. The Kinect is a device for the Xbox 360, which sits on top of your TV screen, and there's a little camera inside the Kinect that scans and analyzes your body. And that means, what? That you are the controller. You don't hold anything. You play games by moving your body. Now, I don't know if you understand this, but that is not like a normal technological advance. That is like voodoo magic and shit. If you were to tell me that the Kinect was invented by wizards, like medieval wizards, I would believe you. So, I bought a Kinect and an Xbox 360 on November 4th, 2010. We got some latecomers coming in. Come on in, everybody. Yeah, you got the email, right? Yeah, so we sent out this email, this mass email that said we want people who are bi-curious or questioning their sexuality to come in late, so that you're easily identifiable and we can test your boundaries all night long. What was that? Yeah, so I bought this Kinect on November 4th, 2010. The day of its release. I just had to have it. And I gotta tell you, the Kinect is freaking awesome. There are some cool sports games and dance games and fitness games. But the game that I became addicted to is called Fighters Uncaged. In Fighters Uncaged, I am Simon, a badass street fighter who is half Korean and half white. He has this like complicated backstory. He's half Korean and half white, and he participates in an underground fighting tournament in which he gets into matches with what can only be described as, ethnic stereotypes. But just ignore that part. We're headed for a race war anyway. We might as well get some practice in. So, for example, there's a luchador who is this Latino guy in a wife beater, and he speaks in a really thick accent, and to taunt you, he kisses his fist in the middle of the match. He does this. He'll go, for you, my friend. And then there's one jab, who's this like big, lumbering black guy who mumbles insults as he fights you. And so in the game, you punch and you kick hard, and on the screen, Simon is taking on all of these guys. Now, after weeks and weeks of me training and fighting, I started to rank really high on the worldwide leaderboard of Fighters Uncaged. So I decided to turn my virtual ass kicking into a reality. In real life, I started to research actual boxing gyms. I decided, what? Okay, all right. I'm not delusional. So I thought I'd start out small. I decided that I was going to look into joining a boxing class for kids. Seriously, because I figured that you know, I might not have had any real street cred, but at the very least, I could certainly beat up a 6-year-old. And you know how good that would make me feel about myself? That's like such a self-esteem booster. So I started making phone calls, and I started sending emails, and it turns out that they don't really let you do that. I think most of the people I talked to thought I was a little bit creepy, and I wouldn't be surprised if I'm on some lists. So I just eventually just dropped the whole idea and just dropped my research. But a few months later, I received an email from a relatively new friend of mine who I didn't know was a boxer and a Thai kickboxer who competed in competitions, and his grandfather is like the #2 Muay Thai worldwide champion. Ooh. So yeah, and then this friend of mine was going to start these kickboxing classes in Pan Pacific Park near the Grove. Now there weren't going to be any kids in this class, but this guy is shorter than I am, and I thought, well, that is something I can work with. Plus, Muay Thai would help me get back in touch with my roots. Yeah, I mean, I haven't been back to Thailand since I was 2 years old, and I tell some people this, and especially some Asians get a little bit snooty about that. They're like, you haven't been back to Thailand? You have to go visit your homeland. You have to go see where your parents grew up. You have to go walk in the footsteps of your ancestors. And I'm like, no I don't. I'm not in a fucking Amy Tan novel. That hurt, right? That hurt, Chinese people. So for a few weeks now, I've been taking these kickboxing. Wow, you're really late, which means you were really questioning. That's okay. That's okay. Come on down. All right. So I've been taking these kickboxing classes for a few weeks now, and it's me and the instructor and a bunch of girls, and yeah, but it's really, really tough. You're punching and you're kicking and you're hitting and you're doing this for like 2 hours nonstop. It's like a vigorous like strength training, and there's cardio involved, and at the end of it, I'm panting and I'm sweating and I'm wanting to die. But it's a lot of fun. However, learning proper technique and form and fight stance has resulted in something really horrible. Now, lately, when I play Fighters Uncaged, I am losing a lot. El Luchador and One Jab are kicking my ass repeatedly like they never have before. And my ranking on the worldwide leaderboard of Fighters Uncaged is plummeting. You see, what I realized is that in Fighters Uncaged, I'm not doing real boxing and kickboxing moves. I'm performing shortcuts that suggest more complicated moves. So Brandon, can you help demonstrate here? So in the game, when Simon does a spinning back fist like this, all I'm doing is this. And when Simon does a leg sweep like this, all I'm doing is this. Yeah, just like that. Thank you. So I am at a crossroads. I can either legitimately spar in real life, or I can beat up ethnic guys in a video game. But I can't have both. And as of today, I honestly don't know what I'm going to do. I feel torn. But one thing is for certain. If I ever get really, really good at playing soccer on the Kinect, I will remind myself that my talent is not real. And the truth may hurt, but it won't hurt as much as some girl kicking me in the stomach on a Saturday morning. Thank you.